Sorry about that.
All right, Meow. Hand over your license and registration. Your registration? Hurry up, Meow.
Sorry.
Is there something funny here, boy?
No.
Well, then why are you laughing, Mr. Larry Johnson? All right, Meow, where were we?
I'm sorry. Are you saying meow?
Am I saying meow?
I thought...
Don't think, boy. Meow, do you know how fast you were going? Meow, what is so damn funny?
I could have swore you said meow.
Do I look like a cat to you, boy? Am I jumping around all nimbly-bimbly from tree to tree?
No.
Am I drinking milk from a saucer?
No.
Well, do you see me eating mice? Now, you stop laughing right now.
Yes, sir.
Meow, I'm gonna have to give you a ticket on this.
But...
No buts, Meow. That's the law. Not so funny, Meow, is it? Meow.
You're listening to Foundations for Founders, a podcast about startups and life and everything in between. Welcome to another edition of Foundations for Founders. I'm Dan in Post Falls.
I am Angel in Seattle.
That's right, you are, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day, but I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How are you?
So, fair warning, everybody. Angel and I just got off a 3-hour semi-board meeting for Haggle Champ.
Mm-hmm. Not board in the we were board. Board is in board of directors.
Right. So
that is factually correct.
So we're both a little tired, but good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man. We'll probably get into a little bit of that a little bit later in the show. We're going to talk about some what it's like to make some enhancements and changes in your startup as you're going through, especially in the beginning. So that'll be the big discussion topic later. But first, Angel, how was your weekend?
So far so good. I haven't slept a whole lot this weekend. I had so much going on, but it's one of those things where life and work and plans all come crashing down in order that you don't like them to.
Right.
And you have to be in like several places at once, and it's not that great. So I'm just tired, but overall, it nothing bad. Just busy. But the weather's been outstanding here for February.
Well, that's good.
Because while it's still maybe cold, the sun's out, and that's great. It's supposed to be like 61 degrees and no clouds tomorrow, so I'm thrilled for that.
You gonna ride your bike?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I rode around a little bit today. I had to go up to the Artful Dodger for a few and drop off some stuff, and I had a few errands to run, and I did all that on the bike. It was nice. Yeah. But how was your week?
Good. Just busy. Working on some videos for Haggle Champ, so now I'm in pre-production, just trying to figure out my plan of how I'm gonna shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
Still just working away.
Are you gonna do that green screen thing?
Huh?
Are you gonna do that green screen
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. I did some test shots with
Nice.
it this week, and
Yeah. Is it function?
I need better lighting.
Yeah.
So the concept is sound. It's just the lighting needs to be done. And for the video that we're talking about, I've got to hire some voice actors. So I've been looking into that as well, what it would cost, and the cost is very minimal. So pretty stoked about that.
You don't want to just do it?
I can't do 4 characters and make them all sound different, and one of them's supposed to be a woman.
Well, I could probably pull that
Oh,
off.
let's hear your girl voice.
My girl
Yeah,
voice?
let's hear it.
I could probably pull that off minus the girl voice.
Right, see?
Right. What other characters do you got?
Oh, hold on. I just got a flash text from Brian,
Uh-oh.
our web developer. I think he's going to join us.
What?
I think so.
Secret guest time.
Well, let's see. I'm going to send him the request.
This is all for you, Founder Nation.
Yes. This would be amazing.
Mhm.
Let's see if he answers. I'm sending him the Skype call right now.
Are intently waiting on
Oh,
this
man.
as we watch the Skype
This is something we've been waiting on.
dialer connect. Yeah.
So,
hmm Silence. More silence.
it says, "Nah, I want to get this up while I can." Okay. After is what I'm saying. Let's see what he says to that. Maybe if I can get it completed early enough, though. So Brian's in the middle of some major site developments for us, and he's pushing them up to the live site. So that is priority one.
He's just trying to look good in front of the
Right,
boss.
that's true.
No playtime for me. I'm diligently working.
Well, he did take like 20 minutes to heat up a hot dog. I told him to check it when he's done, so maybe we'll have him in for the discussion topic.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect.
Hopefully. So,
The suspense is killing everyone now.
if they're listening, or they can shuttle forward on their app and on the episode, and they're like, "Oh, look, he's not there," or "Yes, he is."
And miss what makes the fabric of internet radio superstardom come to life? I don't think so, man.
It is a beautiful tapestry of ones and zeros.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyone can do this, but not anyone can be you and I.
No, we're all snowflakes.
That's true.
Every podcast is a
That's
snowflake.
actually correct. Damn right it is.
It's all special and unique.
Except ours shines brighter.
Y-
Why? Because of the Founder Nation. That's why.
true.
And you could find us at FFF_Nation on the Twitterverse. You could even email us your thoughts, songs, ideas, business ideas, anything you want. You can email that at Foundationsforfounders@gmail.com.
So, you know what I would love for them to email us?
Yeah, what's that? Besides the intern footage?
Besides the intern footage. You know how I always play movie quotes before the show?
I do notice that.
Yeah. I love to take some requests.
Oh yeah, for
What
sure.
are some movies you'd like to hear quotes from? So, yeah.
I think the biggest hit, anyhow, in the audience that I get to communicate with the most has thus far been the What Is Good in Life. Conan
Oh, is that the
Barbarian.
one they all liked?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My personal favorite was the Rodney Dangerfield Back to School. Where are we going to build this factory? How about Fantasyland?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I love that.
That's true. He's dropping knowledge like a boss.
He is. It's a great movie.
Mhm.
It was Billy Madison before Billy Madison, basically.
Kind of was. Yeah. And it had kind of that, I don't know.
But if anyone ever goes and watches Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, notice and spot the very young Robert Downey Jr.
So who is the precursor? Because I get these guys confused, and I probably shouldn't.
Okay.
But both in the comedy realm. But which guy was first? Was it Andrew Dice Clay? Was it Dice, or was it Dangerfield?
I think it was Dangerfield.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause-
And he would just did movies more, right? Or was he also a
oh,
stand-up
he was
comedian
big
as
stand-up,
well?
and then he got into movies.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he was first, right? And Dice came later.
Yeah, Dice came later.
Okay.
Also in Back to School is a very young Sam Kinison.
No kidding.
Yeah. So.
Kinnison's in
Oh
that?
yeah.
Wow.
I'm not kidding when I say it's Billy Madison before Billy Madison. Like, it's full of cameos. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, same basic storyline, roughly. Let's go back to school as an adult. How do we handle that? Yeah, it's funny. You can totally tell
What
that.
would you do if you had to go back to school?
Right now?
And I mean, I guess it would be context based. Like, what are we talking about? High school? Because there would have to be a purpose for that. Because that's general education.
No, let's just say college, because
College. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you do in college?
Oh man. I guess I would get a degree since I don't have one.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I've thought about it actually recently. Like, I'd like to go back to school.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because like, I'm not good with tests, and it's not that I get nervous or anything. I'm just not good with them. And I think that's stupid because I'm fairly intelligent.
Well, yeah. How is that? Like, you don't study for them?
No,
or?
I study. I have a hard time remembering, so I don't get it. So
Oh,
maybe
really?
that
Wow.
means I don't learn. I don't know, but I'm really good with essay tests though. So
Well, I think school dynamic has changed a lot, where you could probably have an open laptop or something where you could research and do all of that stuff. I'm sure during test times, maybe not so much, but
Right. Well, I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, I would go back. I would get, a degree. I don't know in what. Maybe English or psychology, something that, interests me.
hmm
Marine biology, interpretive dance. I don't know.
Yeah, underwater basket weaving, something like that.
I was thinking therapeutic shark massager,
Okay.
you know, because they get
That
angry.
sounds, yeah, it sounds very dangerous. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why you get into the field. There's not a lot of people
Well,
doing
sure,
it, so
sure.
you
Yeah.
can basically charge whatever you want.
hmm
Yeah. The shark's just gonna try and eat you anyways.
Right.
So, right.
That's the reason why there was a shark bite suit invented.
Right. Well,
hmm
I figure if I put bells on the shark,
Yeah,
then I'd be
carefully, no
okay.
less. Yeah.
Because I'd hear them from far away.
Underwater, sure.
Right, underwater. Sound
hmm
carries better underwater.
Yep.
Right. I'm fine.
That's right, listeners. The internet wouldn't lie.
No,
Television never did. Yep.
no, you know,
hmm
whatever. It'll be fine. I'll find aliens down there in the ocean. It'll be great.
So you would go back to school to goof off, it sounds like.
Probably, honestly.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I did get in trouble when I went to college because I once told a history teacher that they were making up civilizations.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
That sounds like a fun story.
Well, just they're like, "Oh, the Hittites of blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, you're just making this up." And then she got all mad and was like, "I need to talk to you in the hallway right now."
Did she confess that she indeed was making stuff up?
No, but with as
Uh,
angry as she got, I was just leery.
right. hmm
So
That's fair.
yeah, I ended up having a bonus class off that day, so that was nice. Yeah.
Had just enough time to get your ass chewed by a professor
Right, and I was
and
like, well, I'm
not
gonna
be
go
late
get
for your next
coffee.
class.
I'll
Right.
see you later.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I kind of smart off every now and then. I shouldn't, but whatever. Yeah. What about you, man? What would you do back in school?
I would try to join a sorority, I think, because that would be more fun than joining a fraternity.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree. I think there's far more fun. Yeah. Uh,
I know you're hoping for more, but there's
I kind
not.
of feel like you're not going to give more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I don't know, man. I went to school and studied biochemistry. Like, how freaking boring can you get, right? Like, I really don't know what I would do. Like, there's not a field of study besides history, I guess, that would keep my interest for any length of time.
I thought you were into like computer sciences.
Right, but that's my 9 to 5, so I kind of already know because it's my job and I get paid to stay up on a lot of those things.
Right.
I guess it would be cool to learn different languages and supplemental things, but I wouldn't want to go back to school for something I already work at doing, for one, and for two, the other side of what I do is public relations, media marketing, and press and stuff like that. So it's kind of like I suppose again the fundamentals or the missing pieces maybe, but like it's not something that would keep my interest for any length of time because that's what I do when I'm not in what I would be doing when I'm not in school. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I really don't know. It's a good question.
Well, at least I would have people to play
Probably,
Magic the Gathering with.
yeah. I really don't play that all that often anymore.
Yeah, me either. Actually, it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Well, I guess it's back to college with us.
Yes, we are back
Yeah.
to college.
I'm sure we had some news stories to talk
Yeah,
about.
we have news stories. We've got quite a few
Okay.
actually.
We had something.
So let's get started with them.
We had Brian and then no and then I don't know.
Right. So okay,
I'm
so
all-
our first news story comes from CNET.com.
Okay.
The headline reads, "U.S. carriers, you'll have to unlock those phones."
Sure.
So basically, what's going on is The days of carriers locking down your devices to keep customers are officially dead. Starting now, all U.S. carriers must comply with requests from postpaid and prepaid customers to unlock their devices as long as certain parameters are met. The industry group CTIA had committed last year to having all wireless carriers adhering to this regulation by February 11th of 2015. So basically, you are now free to unlock your phone and take it to other carriers.
Right. What are the reservations on this?
My reservation?
No, there have to be conditions met, which we have not yet talked
Right.
about. What are those conditions?
And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Part of it I know is, if you have a CDMA phone as opposed to DMCA,
Uh-huh.
if the carrier just cannot support that signal, well, then you're screwed. You can unlock it,
Right.
but you're not going to, I know, what is it? Verizon and Sprint is it CDMA?
I don't know which ones
Yeah,
are what.
I can't remember which is what.
Yeah,
But
there's like...
It's Verizon and Sprint you cannot take internationally, and T-Mobile and AT&T you can. They will work on in other nations.
Right. GSM and CDMA would be the difference there, I think, because of the frequency at which the cell phones communicate with the towers.
Mm-hmm.
And T-Mobile is, what is it? Deutsche Telekom is where it came from, was in Germany. So, T-Mobile was born from Germany, and yes, everything they have will serve European airwaves and stuff. So
okay, so I found the reservations.
So that stands to reason. AT&T is I think an American company from the get-go, so that's odd. But yeah, go for it.
Okay, so for the postpaid side, postpaid service contracts, finance devicing plans, or payment of applicable early termination fees must be paid. Those subscribers who get smartphones for less money by paying a subsidy at the beginning or paying in full over the lifetime of the contract must satisfy that payment before they're allowed to unlock their device.
Oh, okay. So if you bought a phone for a cheap payment plan with the commitment to sign up for a couple years with said carrier, you got to fulfill that before you're able to
unlock your phone.
Unlock a phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on the prepaid side, it's a little bit simpler because chances are you've already paid for your phone. So you have to just ask to unlock no later than 1 year after initial activation. So you only got a year to do it. After a year, you're locked in, I guess?
Well, that makes me wonder if they're just going to jack the premium up because that annihilates roaming right there.
Right.
Especially if you have an unlock. I mean, but what does that mean? What does unlocking mean? I get to serve all carrier, or I have an unlocked phone and get to use the same phone and pick which carrier I'm paying for?
In theory, yeah, you can pick what carrier you want. But again, if you have those carrier restrictions that we were talking about, I know you can't take a Verizon phone no matter what.
Sure. But if I have an unlocked phone now, that just means I can use the same phone and not worry about whether it's T-Mobile, AT&T, or Verizon, right? I can pick the service provider and use the same exact phone.
Correct. Well, and I know there's some
doesn't mean I
exceptions.
get to use...
There's some exceptions to that. What I was talking about as far as which ones you can use or not. I know the iPhone can go anywhere, and I think the newer Samsungs can go anywhere. I have the Galaxy S5, and that one I know can go. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess the point I'm making is I can't surf all of them with an unlocked phone, right? I still have to pick a provider and use that phone on that service.
Right, because you're still paying for their service.
Right. Yeah, what you're saying rings true. There are a handful that'll do it. A lot of the modern phones that were carrier specific had SIM cards or non in them.
Mm-hmm.
T-Mobile phones primarily do, AT&T primarily does, Verizon primarily does not.
Right.
And yeah, it's not going to work unless you have an AT&T branded SIM card in it or whatever. That's unlocking the phone, on quotes, is making that device work on someone else's carrier. And most of the time, it's the chip inside the phones that ran off the SIM cards anyway. So maybe that's a thing of the past now, and it's just going to be some sort of RFID or something, some transceiver.
Yeah, something.
Maybe they'll all just switch to SIM cards. I don't know.
Or strings and cans,
Yeah, yeah. Carrier
carrier
pigeons.
pigeon, smoke signals, something.
Yep. Hmm.
It'll be easier, you know.
Did you read they wrote an actual protocol in carrier pigeon?
No?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you got to be
yeah,
kidding
totally.
me.
No, I'll find it. Go on.
Oh, wow.
We'll move on to the next story.
I'll move on to the
'cause-
next story in the meantime.
Yeah.
So our next story comes from us from trib triblive.com, and also talking about phones. So the headline reads, Visa to track smartphones to spot fraud. So this
Okay.
one I thought was kind of cool, and kind of scary at the same time. So basically what's going on is starting soon, starting in, I want to say it's in spring of 2015, there's going to be an app available from Visa. You can download this app onto your smartphone, and what it will do is it will essentially track your location. So instead of having to call into your bank and say, hey, I'm going to Vegas for the weekend, or I'm going to be in Thailand for 2 months, and you make all these, all these charges, and all of a sudden, your card gets locked out, and you're stuck without a card till, you can get a hold of somebody and clear it out. Visa will just check where your phone is, because they're saying that's a better indicator of where you're actually at.
Yes.
So
I would agree.
yeah, so they'll just check. Like it'll take a few months for it to establish a home base of like 50 miles radius of where you actually live. So any charges within that 50-mile radius, they probably won't flag because they'll just figure it's you. And then if you're like suddenly in Chicago for the weekend or in Canada, and you got your phone on you, which chances are you do, then you're fine. So
Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool thing. I mean, like if this story were to come out 10 years ago, I would have a different mindset on it, right? I'd be like, I don't want them knowing where I'm at and tracking my phone and blah blah blah. Invasion of privacy and whatever, but everything's tracked anyways, and you're almost unbeknownst to you, unless you dig through most of the modern settings of social media sites anyway and turn it off.
right.
You're already geotagged in whatever you're posting about and letting friends know where you're at, and the cell phone people always know where you are, so what's the difference if the bank does? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I think it's kind of cool. The days of calling, and I just had this conversation today, in fact, so that's kind of interesting. But the days of calling the credit card company and telling them you're going out of town over the weekend, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I have financial institutions that will deliberately decline my card when it's in a area outside of my home area and immediately send me an email message that says, was this really you? Press yes or no. And if it was, and you confirm it, then have the clerk run your card again and we'll let it go through.
Oh, see, I wish I
Otherwise-
had like that.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it wasn't you, say no and we're going to turn it off, and then we're going to call you and we're going to talk about it, and we'll let you know where your card's at. You know what I mean? Or where it's being ran at.
Right.
And I was like, oh, what is this? What sucks is if you don't have cell phone bars in the place you're making a purchase and you don't get the message till you get outside, then it's kind of like, oh, yeah, it really was me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta go back in. But yeah, so like that's cool. But it's kind of the same concept, except they don't have to reach out. They can just kind of tell, I guess. But even still, there's always going to be the rare case where the phone and the credit card gets stolen at the same time. But my opinion now is like, modern cell phone, you're going to be found one way or the other. So who cares if the bank does it? You know what I mean?
Well, so
They would be one of the trusted parties that has your social security number, your bank account number, all that stuff anyway.
in my experience, I've actually had the opposite reaction to what you've had, where I've been out of town, like when I went to Chicago and I went to New York, and midway through, my card stopped working.
Right.
And I remember when it happened, it was in the middle of the night in New York. So I was done. Like, I was like, well, I guess I better head back to my hotel. And I had to wait till the next morning until I could get a hold of somebody at my bank. to unlock it.
Oh, was it a debit
It
card?
was a debit card.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Is it a local bank?
Yeah, and that's why.
That's even worse. Yeah.
So
That's why I usually use like national banks for at least for or larger credit lenders that have 24-hour 800 numbers on them. You know what I mean?
right.
Just like I don't have time for that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna wait till
I mean, I would love
Pacific
to,
Standard Time.
but I also
Yeah.
like helping out the little guy, so that's where it catches me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but whatever. So yeah, overall,
Yeah,
we both
sure.
agree this is a good thing.
I think so.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to the next story. We have 4 stories today, people.
Yeah.
So the next story comes to us from Examiner.com. Nissan Leaf electric car now glows in the dark.
Oh, that's great.
So they are creating a special glow-in-the-dark version of the Leaf electric car to promote the benefits of charging the electric vehicle with solar panels. An organic paint absorbs rays from the sun and emits a blue glow for up to 10 hours at night in the new stylish, eco-friendly car that's hard to miss. So basically your car will look like the Green Lantern is driving it as
Yeah.
it goes down the road. The UV absorbing paint is known as Star Path. So
Wow.
awesome. More Green Lantern for you because he's in space. Yeah. So how do you feel about glow in the dark cars?
So do you remember playing with Hot Wheels when you were a kid?
I do.
And there was 2 kinds. There was the kind that would just glow in the dark, and then there was the other kind that you could run underwater and the paint would change colors.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. Now you can actually drive one. Like,
Yeah.
cool, I guess. Like, at no time ever have I thought to myself, because it doesn't, even in the video, like the actual company video release, for the press release for the car,
Right.
it doesn't emit light enough where it would, I think, distract you, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would emit light enough where it would help you see like your keys if you dropped them on the ground or something at night. But you certainly would stick out. So if you're trying to be all stealth and park your car away from somewhere around the corner, I don't know, insert reason why you wouldn't want to be spotted. Chill it in your car if you need a minute away. You're not going to get that because everyone's going to be looking at you because your car's glowing, right? So I don't. Hooray!
Yeah,
You know,
hooray.
I don't think anyone's going to buy this, but whatever.
I think it'll be hard if you're an officer and you're on a stakeout.
Sure.
You wouldn't be able to with the glow-in-the-dark car.
Yep. If you were robbing a bank, probably not your choice getaway vehicle.
Right, glow-in-the-dark.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I think, you'd be able to tell if your car was dirty because parts of it wouldn't glow.
Yeah, right. I don't think anyone would steal it, so that's good
Right,
news.
and if they do, easy to spot.
Very easy to find. Yeah.
But now I like the idea of having patches of dark because your car is dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's breaking out of an egg.
Oh, like pattern it to look like a cracked egg
Yeah,
or something?
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Why not? Or a calico cat of a sort.
Like whatever. The bio paint stuff, cool. You're standing behind alternative things, and that's great. Is it going to be a rock and roll hit? No.
Yeah, it's a gimmick.
I think there's going to be a few people that really like it. I think there's going to be a few snobs that just have to have it, but I don't think it's going to make a big market impression for Nissan. I really don't.
I almost think it would be cooler if it had like pinstripes that glowed in the dark. Like if the car was a normal darker color and then pinstripes that went through and glue in the dark and kind of almost looked like circuitry.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it does get super bright and it was just an edited, video, and it is super distracting. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, that could cause accidents. I don't know. I don't care about it. Right.
Right.
Like, whatever. If I see one, I'll be like, oh, cool.
Well,
whatever.
all right, then let's move on to the last story of the day,
Okay.
which comes to us from Kotaku.
Sure.
Um,
Everyone tunes into Kotaku.
yeah, Kotaku. How do you pronounce that? Kotaku? Kotaku?
Got me swinging.
Whatever. It'll be in the show notes, people. The headline reads, "The pizza party where everyone got fired."
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, so...
This is not how you do it.
No, this is not how you do it. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
No.
So over the weekend, or on Friday, it appears, game development studio Daybreak went through massive layoffs and culling a large number of jobs in order to stay profitable. That's just the business as usual in the video game industry, but what seems like a new round of layoff every single week. For months now, the publisher and the development studio treated their for months now we've been covering. Okay, Kotaku's saying for months now we've been covering the way the game publisher and development studio treated their employees in an attempt to spotlight the painful and unstable environment behind many of the games we love. Okay, great. So basically, from what I've read, is like all up until the to the layoff time, they were giving employees incentives to get this game done early.
Right.
They got it done early, and they said, "Hey, great job, everybody! We're gonna have a pizza party." And then at the pizza party,
bowling.
they started laying people off.
Yeah, it's toward the bottom of the article. You should read how they do it. It's pretty awesome.
They just finished out testing on the project, what we call BioLands, and congratulated them. Then a man in charge arranged a huge bowling party and pizza at the end of the week. Of course, everyone is hyped for the event. So the day finally arrives, and all the testers show up. They all start bowling and eating pizza. After a few hours of enjoying himself, the VP asks for everyone's attention. When he does, he manages them to get them to listen. He begins to thank them for their hard work and has leads hand them termination papers. At the end of the event, the crew no longer throws events about scaring anyone to death. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, great job. You're fired.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Here's your bowling score for the first couple games and your termination papers.
Yes.
Enjoy your weekend and have fun looking for a new job.
I see you're not good at bowling. Now you will have the time to improve, so that you have that to
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or perhaps the bowling alley was looking for help and they thought, well, shoot, I know a bunch of people that are going to be looking for a job here pretty soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why don't I bring them all down?
It's, it sucks. It sucks for those people. But wow.
That's such bull, dude. There's no way. There is no way I wouldn't, raise hell if that happened
I was
to
going to say, what would you do if that was you?
I would go to the press right away and be like, look, not because I'm going to wind up getting a job out of this, but that is so devaluing, human condition.
Right.
In the modern workplace. That's so foul. And then to be rewarded and incentivized to get this done ahead of time, and we all banded together and stayed late and worked hard to get your product done.
Right.
We get congratulated with, a bowling night and pizza, and then told, hey, thanks. Go find another job.
Right.
That's cold, especially if the game's profitable. That's a killer.
Oh, at that point, I would imagine you don't want it to be profitable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a killer.
Yeah, that's all sorts of messed up.
Yeah, I would raise hell. I don't know what I would do, but I would raise hell.
I know I would not be happy.
Yeah.
I would totally not be happy, and that sucks. And yeah. So, well, let's take a break. We'll come back with our discussion topic, talking about site enhancements and the process of going through that. We will see if the mystery man Brian shows up or not.
Alrighty.
And we'll be right back.
Buying a used vehicle can be very stressful, but HaggleChamp.com makes it much easier. At HaggleChamp.com, all you have to do is tell us what make, model, and year that you're after, and we'll alert our dealer network. Our dealers will give you their offer, and you can declare your #1 contender. That's the offer you like the best so far. This then re-notifies the dealer network and encourages them to give you an even better deal. It's free to use, so head over to hagglechamp.com. That's hagglechamp.com.
Welcome back, Founder Nation, to Foundations for Founders. I am Angel in Seattle.
And I am Dan in Post Falls.
We are glad to have you back. This, of course, brought to you by HaggleChamp.com, where you can buy like a champ, save like a champ.
Absolutely.
So earlier, I sent you the computer networking IP protocol.
Right.
It's a humorously intended proposal to carry internet protocol traffic by carrier pigeons, like homing pigeons.
Right.
So IP over AVIN carriers was initially described in RFC 1149 as a request for comments issued by Internet Engineering Task Force, written by D. Weitzman and released April 1, 1990. So this is hilarious. These guys got together, describing an improvement of his protocol in RFC 2549. IP over AVIN carriers was with quality of service, later in 6214, released April a few years later, and 13 years after the introduction of IPv version 6, was successfully implemented, but only 9 packets of data with a packet loss ratio of 55% due to user error, it says, is a response time ranging from 3,000 seconds to over 6,000 seconds. Thus, the technology suffers from poor latency. Nevertheless, large transfers, AVIN carriers capable of a high average throughput when carrying flash memory devices, effectively implementing a sneaker net. So this is pretty slick. What they did, was they strapped 32 gigabyte SD cards to the feet of carrier pigeons in order for them to transfer larger data bits across this network. That's how they mapped it.
Just like
So
Johnny
as an
Mnemonic.
Oh yeah. So as an example, if 6 home pins were given 8 32 gigabyte SD cards each, and each take an hour to reach their destination, the throughput of transfer would be 9,102 megabits per second, excluding transfer to and from the SD cards, right? So you'd still have to extract the data off of the physical card.
Right.
But it was actually implemented by a Linux user group, and they sent 9 packets over a distance of approximately 5 kilometers or 3 miles, each carried by an individual pigeon and containing 1 ping. So ICMP echo request received 4 responses, and it looks pretty hilarious on paper. ICMP sequence 2 over 225, and then it has the time ratio in milliseconds, which is like ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, a million. So 61,657,031 milliseconds. 9 packets transmitted, 4 received, 55% packet loss. Crazy trip time, and it was all done with real-life carrier pigeons, and I think that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there is a real protocol for carrier pigeon transfers now. Just good times. That's
now,
what
my question is, how secure is it?
Yeah, not so much. Not so
Right.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you give nerds a bunch of money and time.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's not even nerds. I don't know if you know this, but big in the pigeon racing community is one Mike Tyson.
Racing, though.
Racing.
Wow.
Yeah. He's big into racing them.
Go
So
figure.
there's that. I don't think I could ever get into pigeon racing, but sure.
Yeah, it just, doesn't sound super exciting to me.
I
couldn't
don't
get
get
into
it.
fantasy pigeon racing.
You wouldn't have a fantasy league of pigeon racing?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I could get into that.
I don't think I could either.
mean,
I kind of think I could, though, at the same time.
It's possible.
Maybe. Well, we should talk about our discussion topic.
Yeah. What do we got tonight? What's going on?
Yeah. This is how you can tell we're tired people. We're just
Yeah.
kind of going off on whatever.
It's a landslide.
Yeah.
I'm trying
So,
to the people.
by the time this gets out, we should have some major site enhancements to HaggleChamp. If not very soon after, but fairly confident it'll be tonight. We're making some major improvements into how people can input what car they're after, and even the process of haggling through HaggleChamp. So we kind of did this based off some feedback that we received, and then also just basic common sense of what would work and what would be functional for a user. So that's what we built. Well, we didn't build it. We one of our partners, Brian, built it, and Brian's very talented and very good, and super excited that it's finally coming out. Angel, do you have anything to say about the updates?
I think a lot of them are more common sense, I think, based than super feedback based. But yeah, there's a lot of changes in the way that you can interface with the website, with the requests and things like that, which
Right.
are ultimately good things. The notification pieces are getting more concise and also stronger, and just more polished. I think anytime you get a group of us together to actually do nothing but focus on the core structure of the content, it's better.
Right, that's true.
It was, I think it always will be, because it's hard getting us to talk about the same idea collectively at one time and then come together with, pass
Well, and we
fail
didn't
kind
even
of
have all
things.
of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or most of us, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's tough, but it's good to see that, and I think born of that is a good thing, because we're all on the same page without having to chase emails and responses back. So, but overall, yeah, it's really, really good. I don't have any qualms with it.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be great going forward. It's going to make it easier for our customer. The process, though, I mean, I guess that's why we're talking about it,
Mhm.
is it's difficult because it takes a lot of, the way that we typically do it, and this time is not really an exception, is, each of us will get together on a beta or a developmental environment and then just beat the piss out of it. Like,
Right.
we'll get on with, accounts from a dealer perspective, accounts from a consumer perspective. What's hard is when you're critiquing your own product, is to stay objective about enough things that you don't like and that you do like, versus, not, I guess, because you're stuck on liking one thing or another, or don't want to see something change. But I think even harder than that is when you look at it long enough from both perspectives, you kind of lose scope on simple things, so it's great that each of us do that independently and then come together with what we found that we liked and didn't like, and then we kind of sort through that, because I'm going to catch stuff you're going to miss. You're going to see a bunch that I didn't even look at, like, and I think, for a consumer, each person is going to interface and have different reactions to the product in and of themselves. It's not one dimensional, and we're asking them to provide us with stuff that they want that's tailored to them. So everything's going to be a little different when you get into there. But, from a consumer perspective, there's stuff I just don't see when you stare at it for hours on end. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Right.
oh, I didn't even notice that. So I love the process in that respect, right? Like, I think that's super cool, because not a whole lot of people do it that way. And I think that's important. But it is incredibly time consuming. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised we got as much as we did done in the 3 hours we were on that call, but I like the way that we do it. I wish that we could just pile into an office and sit down and hash it out on a, projector or something. And I think some things are lost in translation when you're doing conference calls and stuff like that. But overall, I like the method because it gives individual perspective from each of us. And the feedback part is kind of the icing on top, because that's, a live environment feeding back to what we could do, things that they want, we'll try and provide, things that they notice that all of us may not, those kinds of things we'll provide. It's hard work,
Oh yeah.
You stare at a screen for long enough until your eyes go crossed and you're just like, oh, I probably looked at that 100 times, Like, there's part of our developmental script that's not rendered properly, and I don't think we even pointed that out, just going over the mental checklist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a prime example, you try and catch them all. But,
Just like Pokemon.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I was pleased with the process. We got a lot done, a lot, but and that's all Brian. I mean, he just did an amazing job. But well, I reached out to some of our customers, both sides, and asked them, hey, what would you like to see in the future? And that's where some of this feedback did come from. So some of it was based off of client, but I think now we have a stronger product for people to use, and I think as having a startup company, this is a great process as opposed to just launching and hoping people figure it out. I like this idea of like, let's test it small, let's get it fixed, and then let's really get it out there. So, Angel, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. It was like completely dead silence. So I was like, oh no, what happened?
It's hard because there's some latency on your end where I'm trying to make sense of what you just said, if it's kind of breaking up or all that. Sorry, there's probably long pauses.
Oh, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what I would like to tell people is, in your own startups, don't be afraid of critiques and don't be afraid of having to make shifts. Ultimately, it's going to give you something better. So embrace that.
The only devil's advocate point to that is it scalable, right? Like
Right.
if you launch a national company and, or let's say a monster distributing brick and mortar thing, and you've got to make a big global change because it's a unanimous vote by your client base, it's going to cost a ton of money, so you've got to adapt while it's scalable, right?
Right.
So I'd say keep those in mind. I would certainly agree with what you just said for sure. But that's where you also have to have a team of people that support you,
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think that's just about it for the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was kind of short and full of yawns. I apologize. I just
Oh, yeah,
bring
no,
my
me too.
A game, but
We're
I've been
tired.
up for. God, I've been up since it's what is it? It is now 10:30 at night. I've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning. So.
Well, go get some rest, man.
Let's
wrap
do it.
this up. You can contact us at FFF_nation on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Our own Twitters. Mine's at Dan Reyes.
Mm-hmm. I'm at AngelAspects21 on the Twitterverse, and also you can email us any thoughts, concerns, ideas of your own, and that's Foundationsforfounders@gmail.com.
Absolutely. All the stories will be in the show notes, and we'll put a link to our own site because why not?
Peace.
So, cool. Well, have a good night, day, morning, whatever it is you listen to this, people.
Later.
All right. I'm gonna put it together.
Alrighty. I'm gonna crash.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.